So I was at the gym the other day and I was finishing off my set of bench press. And then I look to my side and I see some guy like also benching the like exact same weight as me, but with like much more speed and much more like reps and just much more like just power overall. And I was like, okay, I'm curious who that guy is. I haven't seen him around. And then he sat up and it turned out to be this 50 to 60-year-old elderly man who just, well, this is not to be like, offensive or anything, but he definitely looked like old. But he was benching the exact same as me for more reps. So he was stronger than me. And in that moment, I was like, shit, um, am I that weak? But yeah, I did end up like waving to the guy. He's a very nice guy. But the reason I wanted to share this story is because I realized that going to the gym is such like a fun thing for me that if I'm able to do that until like I'm old, like like that's a just a beautiful journey in my opinion. And this brings me to like the idea of like how to be like consistent because that's one of the questions I get a lot of times. It's a question I ask myself a lot of the time as well. Like, how do I become consistent at something? And I realized the secret to be consistent is just to see the task you're doing as an infinite game, as opposed to a finite game. And what this basically means is a finite game is eventually it ends. Like, let's say we play a game of Monopoly. By the end of, like, let's say 30 minutes or an hour, the game ends. That's it. That's the rest of the game. But an infinite game is you just continually just play and you just keep doing that for the rest of your life. And when I start to see things in the form of an infinite game, that's when I'm actually more likely to be consistent. And so for the gym example, when I see the gym as this thing that I'll do basically for the rest of my life. Like I'm not saying I'll go every day, but every week I'll go 5 days a week for the rest of my life. And if I have that sort of mentality, then it becomes so much easier to just go because I know, cool, this is just how my life is. And once you get into the routine, it's much easier just to, execute on autopilot. And so when I saw this elderly man at the gym just benching the exact same as me, it made me realize like how like just amazing this journey is when I see it as like something I'll do for the rest of my life. And so yeah, maybe when I'm 80, I'll record another video with like grandpa veins. Yeah, to close the the open loop on this one. But the takeaway that I really got from this is just to see things as an infinite game, and whatever you do, just see it as something that you'll do for the rest of your life. And obviously, the caveat here is like it doesn't necessarily have to be like bench press for the rest of your life. In this case, it's just some form of like exercise. Like that's the idea. It doesn't necessarily have to be the exact same like thing, the exact same like style. As long as the underlying principle, in this case, exercise is carried through, then that's all that matters. And this applies the same for like my work, for my relationships. Seeing things as an infinite game has just given me so much more motivation to be consistent. And it's by far one of the biggest secrets I found to just be consistent in anything in my life.